Hello and welcome. My name is Lorrayne Ham, and this is Living Your Best Life. As Starseeds, we are challenged often to find our way to separate ourselves from the emotional overwhelm of what is happening all around us and bring ourselves back to our emotional stability, our state from which we can then be of service to the greater world. If we are in emotional chaos, we are not of benefit to the greater world. And in fact, we can actually how do I describe this? We can actually seem to others like we are whipping them with our energetics. And that's because we are out of balance. We are not stable in our state. And we are here to assist the greater evolutionary process, this great ascension, this great awakening. And if we are emotionally off balance, and let's face it, we all do it, and we are all going through our own ascension elevation process. Starseeds are not perfect, and we are still inhabiting human bodies, and humans have a full range of emotional potentiality. So it is, however, critical for us to remain in a state of sovereign confidence and gosh, it just flew right out of my head. The stability that I'm talking about is stability in your knowing, in your understanding of your connection to your divine source, and that there is a greater plan at foot. So it's okay if you have momentary blips of out of alignmentness. However, if you can get yourself back in your center, in your aligned state quickly, then you are accomplishing what is necessary to support the greater whole. Now, the longer we have been working through this process, and in these times of great chaos, everything has been thrown at us to cause us to step out of our center, out of our knowing, and react to the external force. As starseeds, we are intimately educated and aware of our core, our center beingness, and how important that is on a global, universal plan. So I want to give you some steps to bring yourself back into your emotional stability. And the reason I'm using the term stability is, in fact, that is what is needed. It's interesting, years ago, in 2006, I kept hearing, whenever I would tune into my higher self, my inner knowing, my guides, my spiritual cohorts, I would get this message, because I was seeking, and I would ask, what is my purpose? Why am I here? What am I doing? And I would hear the words, and I think I've mentioned this to you before on other videos, that I was the rock. Now, I am enamored of rocks. I have been enamored with rocks since I was a tiny, tiny person. And it was always funny to me, but I never understood what was being told to me. And it was years later that I realized what that meant for me was stability. I was here to be a stable force, a centered, grounded. And in fact, I have energy that is very stable, very grounded, very solid, if you will. And that has provided me in this truly interesting time the ability to not get thrown off all that much. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't have moments, but it is very challenging for an external force at this point in time to throw me off my base. I am in fact quite detached from the external reality. I don't take anything for fact or truth or reality that comes at me. I am stable in my emotional awareness, and I am stable in my understanding and trust of my inner guidance. So my 5 steps to assist you in staying emotionally stable. Number 1, have a meditational practice. Whatever that looks like for you. It doesn't mean you have to, sit on a pillow and ohm your way, although that's very effective. It's not the right thing for many people. I, for one, prefer guided meditation, and I will do my own guided meditations. I will, in my mind, walk myself through a meditational process. I don't do well with the silent meditation. But get yourself a really good practice. And what I mean by practice is practice it. Do it every day. Find a time where you can be not distracted from an external force, where you can be quiet, where you can be focused, and you can do the work. If you need music in the background, do music in the background, but make sure that everyone in your household knows that's what you're doing and you are to be uninterrupted. Second, go out in nature. Every single day, stand on the earth with bare feet. Winter, summer, fall, spring, get your feet on the ground. Or find a grounding mat or something that you can ground with. Now, what I found worked really well for me is having a stone. If you have a stone, you can actually bring that into the house and you can put your feet on the stone. The stone holds the frequency. Remember, all stones have crystalline structure. They can all be programmed, and they've been hanging out in the earth, getting the earth frequencies. So find a big flat stone that you can every day put your feet on. This is really effective, and it will help you to stabilize yourself. If you are emotionally out of control, go put your feet on that stone. It will immediately ground you as long as you are intending to be grounded and connected. Number 3. This is one of the hardest ones to do, but it is critical to having your emotional stability. Make boundaries. Establish boundaries with family members and loved ones in particular. Friends. Establish your boundaries. What you will not cross and what you will not allow others to cross. You are a sovereign individual. You have the right to decide what is right and proper for you. You can establish boundaries and make sure that no one crosses them. This is a challenging thing for most individuals, and especially for starseeds, because there is a belief that if we establish boundaries, then we are somehow cutting others off, and that our purpose is to be here and loving and kind and yada, yada, yada. All of those things are good. But if we don't have boundaries with individuals in our lives, then they don't respect us, our time, our energy, or anything else. We also need to establish boundaries with ourselves. And that perhaps is the most difficult, because we often will talk ourselves out of things. We will delude ourselves. We will create stories about things. And in that delusion of ourselves, we compromise ourselves. So, number four. Turn off the outside news. Don't listen to it. And that includes alternative news or social media. Give yourself every week one day where you disconnect from the entire social media, social matrix. It's kind of a cleanse, if you will. 24 hours of no technology, no social media. Now, we're all super addicted to our phones, having them with us, because, it's the way people connect with us. It's the way people communicate. It's our only phone. I get that. However, you can have a phone for a phone purpose without going on and playing games or going on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter or whatever it is you go on. 24 hours, once a week, a spiritual cleanse, if you will, from the technology. Number 5, remember, you are divine. You are here for a greater purpose. You are here to be a guiding light. And that isn't a bad thing. It doesn't mean you have to rescue or save or anything else. You're simply a guiding light by the frequency and codes that you emit. You are here radiating love, whether you're aware of it or not. So recognize the power that you are. Remember, you are divine in nature. You are source in form. And every single person that you see, whether you believe in what they believe or not, is also source in form. This requires us to surrender into compassion and love, humility and grace. This that is playing out in our world is the biggest drama. What do they call those? They're not sci-fi. That isn't what I want to. I can't think of the word. But it's a drama, and it's a stage of which we are observing and playing upon. So detach from the external reality as much as you possibly can. Remember, we are all here in this journey together. And there will come times soon where we will need to look in the eyes of another who has done things that we would never do, that would shock and maybe horrify us. And we will need to have compassion, and we will need to radiate love. Not because of them, but because of who we are, divine source in form. Until next time, my name is Lorrayne. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. It helps so much, and the more people that can hear the message, the better off we all are. If you want to know more about what I do, there's a link down below in the description box. Until next time, thanks so much. Many blessings.